Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at something pretty unexpected in Philippine agriculture. Ostrich farming.
Mhm.
I mean,
Huh.
picture these huge, flightless birds, the ones you associate with Africa, running around on a farm in the tropics.
It definitely sounds surprising at first, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we're digging into how this happened. It's this interesting mix of, like, agricultural innovation and, well, economic possibility. We're talking valuable meat, leather, even feathers.
Whole range of product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to uncover the hurdles, the benefits, the success stories, especially this one really interesting farm in Pampanga. Okay, let's unpack this and embark on this feathered adventure to discover why ostrich farming might be a hidden gem in Philippine agriculture.
It's a great topic, and you're right, it often catches people off guard. But what's fascinating is how this venture, which seems so, well, different, has actually found a foothold and is thriving. And the Philippine climate, believe it or not, plays a big part in why it works.
Right, that's the counterintuitive part.
Yeah.
So, okay, take us back. How did these giant birds end up in the Philippines? When did this all start?
It actually kicked off back in 1996. The pioneers were Lorenzo and Heinz Lumkikay. They set up the Philippine Ostrich and Crocodile Farms, Inc. That was in Opal, Misamis Oriental. They trained in Australia, imported the first breeding pairs, and launched the country's first sort of combined ostrich and croc farm.
Wow, crocodiles too. That's
Oh.
quite the combination.
Yeah, and from there, ostrich farms started popping up elsewhere. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, you see them in places like Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Camiguinao.
Okay, so it spread. Was there any, like, official encouragement did the government get involved?
There was, actually. Around the 2007-08 global food crisis, the Department of Agriculture actively promoted it. They saw it as sustainable, good for ecotourism potential too. That definitely helped. And like we said, the climate, the warmth, the varied terrain, it suits ostriches surprisingly well. They're pretty adaptable birds. Plus, a big draw for farmers is their growth rate. They can hit slaughter weight in just 10 to 14 months.
10 to 14 months. That's fast for such a big animal.
It really is a quick turnaround compared to, say, cattle.
That adaptability and fast growth.
Yeah.
It makes sense why someone would try it. You mentioned it's like a treasure trove of benefits. Let's talk products. What's the main thing here? The meat.
Definitely the meat. That's the primary product. Think of it like beef, but much healthier. It's really low in fat and cholesterol, but packed with protein and iron.
So, tastes like beef, but better for you.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the appeal. Michael Gross from a farm in Nueva Ecija mentioned it's great for fine dining, kebabs, burgers, you name it.
Then economically, what's the yield like?
Well, a single ostrich gives you about 30 to 40 kilos of boneless meat, and that sells for around 450 to 600 pesos per kilo. So yeah, it's a premium product, generates good income.
That's significant money per bird. But you said there's more than just meat, right? What else are we talking about?
Oh yeah, lots more. The feathers are valuable for fancy dusters, decorations. The leather is incredibly tough, very desirable for high-end fashion bags, shoes, that sort of thing.
Durable leather.
And the eggs, they're huge, obviously. They sell for about 500 pesos each. And a female can lay, well, up to 100 eggs a year.
100 eggs. Wow.
Yeah. And some farms, like the one in Misamis Oriental, get creative. They sell the decorated eggshells as souvenirs. Great for agritourism.
That is creative. Okay, so lots of products. What about the environment? We hear so much about the impact of livestock farming.
Yeah.
How do ostriches stack up?
They actually do pretty well on that front. They're considered quite eco-friendly. They need less water and less land compared to cattle, much less.
Less strain on resources then.
Exactly. And they produce fewer greenhouse gases. Their feed conversion is also better. They turn feed into body mass very efficiently. Need about 2 kilos of feed a day, which is actually similar to poultry.
2 kilos.
Yeah.
For a bird that big, that's efficient.
Very efficient. It's a big plus for sustainability.
Makes sense. So looking beyond the farm itself,
Yeah.
what about the wider economic picture? Jobs, local communities.
They definitely make an impact there too. Farms like the big one, the Philippine ostrich and crocodile farms, supply hotels, restaurants, that creates demand. And they create jobs directly, of course. Farmhands, processing, marketing, especially needed in rural areas. The fact they started expanding into Manila markets quite a while back shows that demand is growing.
Okay, so market reach is expanding. And you mentioned agritourism.
Yes, that's a big one too. Farmers in Camiguin, Pampanga, they attract visitors. Educational tours, seeing the birds up close.
People pay for that.
Oh, yes. It boosts the local economy, brings in tourist money, and it also helps promote sustainable farming practices. It gets the word out.
Right. It all seems to tie together healthier food, greener practices, local jobs. It fits with a lot of current
It
trends.
really does.
But, okay, you can't all be smooth sailing. There must be challenges, right?
Yeah.
What kind of hurdles do these farmers face? Let's start with the market.
You're right. It's definitely not easy. The biggest market challenge is that ostrich products are still, well, niche. Public awareness just isn't that high, especially for the meat. People know pork, chicken, beef.
Yeah, there's staples.
Exactly. So getting consumers to try ostrich, even with the health benefits, it takes a lot of education and marketing effort. It's an uphill battle against habit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the birds themselves, their practical needs? You mentioned the climate is okay, but are there complications?
There are. They need space, first off. Lots of it. Big, securely fenced areas so they can roam, run around. And while they handle the heat okay, ideally you want that 20 to 30 degrees Celsius range. But the humidity in the Philippines, and especially the risk of typhoons, that adds complexity. Farm management needs to account for that, particularly during breeding season, which is quite long, Feb to October, roughly.
Typhoons. Yeah, that's a serious risk for any outdoor farming. And the cost.
Yeah.
Getting started sounds expensive.
It is. The initial investment is pretty hefty. You're looking at maybe 10,000 pesos for a 90-day-old chick. Breeding pairs. That could be 35,000 to 45,000 pesos.
Okay, just for the birds.
Right. Then you add infrastructure. Incubators are crucial and not cheap. Fencing needs to be strong. Setting up a basic farm could easily top 100,000 pesos, maybe more. It's a significant capital outlay.
Definitely requires serious commitment. What about actually raising them? Breeding, health? I imagine they're not the easiest animals to manage.
That's another critical point. Breeding takes skill. Chick mortality, for instance, can be maybe 20% die in the first couple of weeks if you're not careful.
20%. That's rough.
It is. Proper egg handling, incubation, that's vital. The early farms had real struggles with failed hatches back in '96. They figured it out by '97, got the conditions right, but it shows how sensitive the process is.
And the birds themselves? Are they difficult?
They can be. They're powerful animals. Males, especially during breeding, can get aggressive. You need experienced handlers who know how to manage them safely. It's not like raising chickens.
Right. And competition. Are they fighting for shelf space against the usual suspects?
Very much so. They compete directly with traditional livestock cattle, poultry, which, as we said, dominate the Filipino diet. It's a challenge everywhere, really. Even in the U.S., ostrich farms have faced similar struggles, trying to break into the mainstream market against established meats.
So lots of hurdles, market awareness, climate issues, cost, tricky breeding, competition. It really takes innovation, resilience. But here's where it gets really interesting. There must be examples where it is working well, right? A shining example.
Absolutely. And the Manlick Ostrich Farm in Pampanga is a fantastic one. It's in Stan Monica, San Luis, been around since 1998, started by Abel Manlick.
Okay, Pampanga. What makes it stand out?
Its approach. It's primarily a free-range system. The ostriches have hectares of land to roam, run, forage, just behave naturally. You picture it, rice fields, mango trees nearby, Mount Arya in the distance. It's a much more natural, less stressful environment for the birds.
That sounds much better for the animals. Does that translate into benefits for the farm, for the product?
Definitely. Better animal welfare usually means less stress, lower disease rates. And that often leads to higher quality products, better meat, feathers, leather. Plus, the free-range label itself has value. Consumers are increasingly looking for ethically sourced products, and they're often willing to pay more for them.
Right, the ethical consumer angle.
Exactly. So this farm has gained a lot of positive attention, including for agritourism, and demand for their products is reportedly strong. It really serves as a model for doing this sustainably and successfully.
That's great to hear. Okay, let's zoom in on the core operations then. Breeding and feeding the make-or-break stuff. What are the essentials there?
Absolutely crucial areas. For breeding, timing and conditions are key. Ostriches mature around 18 to 24 months. Females start laying eggs maybe 50 to 100 a year from age 2 onwards.
We talked about those early hatching problems.
Right. That experience back in '96 really hammered home the need for precision. Getting the incubator's right temperature, humidity, turning the eggs correctly, that was the breakthrough they needed by '97 to get chicks hatching successfully. It requires meticulous management.
Got it. And feeding. You said they're efficient, only need about 2 kilos a day.
Yeah, surprisingly little for their size. They're omnivores, so they eat a mix, grains, fruits, veggies, even some insects if they're foraging. Farms like the one in Pampanga often use local feeds like corn, various greens to keep costs down.
Smart, using local resources.
But the balance of the diet is vital. Poor nutrition can really hurt growth rates or egg production. So again, it comes down to skilled management, ensuring they get everything they need to stay healthy and productive. That directly impacts the bottom line.
It sounds like there's a lot of science and careful practice involved day to day. Okay, let's pull back again. Wider impact, environmentally, socially. What does ostrich farming bring to the table in the Philippines?
Environmentally, we touched on the low water and land use compared to cattle. That's a big plus, reduces strain on resources. And in the Philippines context, it adds to agricultural biodiversity. It's another option beyond the usual livestock.
Diversification, okay. And socially.
Job creation is a major one. We mentioned farmhands, marketers. It provides employment, especially in rural areas like Pampanga or Misamis Oriental, where these farms often are. And agritourism, again. Places like the Breeding Center in Camiguin, they educate visitors, bring in money. Even small entry fees like 5 pesos add up and support the local economy. It connects people to farming, too.
And I guess that ties back to personal health as well, promoting the meat.
Exactly. These farms aren't just businesses. They subtly encourage healthier eating habits by making this lean, low-fat ostrich meat available. It gives health-conscious Filipinos another good protein option.
So wrapping this all together, given the challenges, how can farmers really succeed? What are the key strategies to thrive in this niche? So what does this all mean for future success?
Well, there are a few key things. First, market education is paramount. Farmers need to keep pushing the message about the health benefits, the taste, the versatility of ostrich meat. Think targeted campaigns, maybe social media like that Ostrich Philippines Facebook page you see sharing tips. Build that awareness.
Get the word out consistently.
Right. Second, embrace sustainable practices. Free-range systems like Pampanga's aren't just ethical, they improve product quality and appeal to that growing eco-conscious market.
Good for the birds, good for business.
Precisely. Third, partnerships can make a huge difference. Collaborating with landowners, maybe sharing expertise, can lower those daunting startup costs. And government support, whether it's funding or training programs like those seen post-2008, that can be really vital too.
Leverage available resources.
Definitely. And finally, don't underestimate agritourism. Expanding tours, adding activities like maybe egg painting workshops like in Camiguin, it diversifies income beyond just selling the products, makes the farm a destination.
Okay, so education, sustainability, collaboration, and diversification through tourism. Sounds like a solid plan. This deep dive has really shown that ostrich farming in the Philippines is, well, a wild, exciting venture with some serious potential. We've seen the lean, healthy meat, the eco-friendly side. It really does offer a sustainable alternative. Now, the challenge is market demand, climate, costs. They're definitely real, no doubt about it. But success stories, like that free-range farm in Pampanga, prove what's possible with innovation and passion. And, these farms, they do more than just provide income and jobs. They seem to inspire healthier choices, greener living. It's pretty fascinating.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? And it leads to a broader question, perhaps for you, the listener, to consider. This raises an important question. How might niche agricultural ventures like ostrich farming fundamentally reshape our perceptions of food systems and local economies, beyond just providing a product?
That's definitely something to mull over. We hope this exploration gave you some fresh insights into sustainable agriculture and maybe even sparked some curiosity to learn more.